Thank goodness Isaac did leave scattered damage from Florida to the U.S. Gulf Coast. New reports say the storm may have caused up to $2 billion of insured losses. Back here to discuss the damage and what those affected should do now, Chip Merlin of the Merlin Law Group and an attorney who focuses on commercial and residential property claims. Chip, great to have you back. Thank you for joining us. $2 billion insured losses. Do you agree with that figure?
Yeah, it's a pretty close figure. It might slightly go up depending on how the drainage goes and whether or not that dam that looks like it's holding right now actually holds. But I think that's a pretty good figure from what we've given out so far.
The human stories are devastating. People now, many of whom have dealt with Katrina as well. They're just, we're hearing stories of people just throwing up their hands, giving up and getting out of town. Should they be? What are the options?
That's something. Well, that's something that at least in this business, we've heard for a long period of time. And indeed, in Florida, after the 2004 storms, a lot of people never came back. And after Katrina, a lot of people moved away. It's been 7 years since Katrina. But, in that part of the United States, this is something that goes on. And if you're just after you get wiped out once, you might get wiped out twice. I can see that. The fact of the matter is 25% of the population of the city of New Orleans has already left, and they aren't coming back. So these storms do have that type of impact on people.
Chip, do you know whether or not most of these people in this very common hurricane zone do have some kind of coverage, hurricane coverage, flooding coverage, wind damage, how that works, how it all sorts out? Do you have stats on that?
After Katrina, most of the people in the area know to get flood coverage because they know how far inland a storm surge could go. We found after Katrina, people had no idea that storm surge could go miles inland, and they based it on how far Hurricane Camille pushed the waters. Well, Katrina was a milestone in that, and people in the area know to have flood insurance. So we expect that they're going to be flood insurance, but if you notice, most of the homes now are raised up 10, 20 feet. Flood doesn't pay the bottom area for that underneath, and there's going to be a lot of uninsured losses that are going to go on that aren't being reported in this $2 billion estimate.
All right, Chip, thanks for your take. Chip Merlin.